Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our podcast episode number 4. Today, we're going to talk about how to look within and how to go back to fully who you are. We tuned in into some topics we wanted to share and to talk more about, and this one popped in that it's the one to do today. So, in the meantime, follow down the description box with all of the news we're going to be putting down there. And subscribe, like, share with a friend. Sharing is caring. We're excited for this to get to as many people who can benefit from that. So we appreciate that. And also in the comment section, you can comment your insights. You can ask the question. You can suggest the topics in the future that you want us to cover. So yes, we're excited to engage with you. So where do you want to start from? Because we can approach coming back to yourself or looking within to activate more of your presence. We can go from so many different angles. So where do you want to start today?
Well, actually, I would like to go to the foundation
Uh-huh.
in understanding, so then we can feel it and integrate. What does it mean to come back to yourself? What does it mean to look within? Because I feel like oftentimes we conceptually understand certain things, but then if we don't integrate it, then we forget what it means, the intention behind that, how to apply the attention to that, and then it becomes just something we say but don't really mean it. So what's the meaning behind that?
Well, I actually like to approach this from a perspective of no thought, no meaning, no opinion or belief about it, right? Because as you were speaking, what comes is like the process of surrendering. It's just our natural state. Our natural state is to be present. It's like, when you feel like you're in the zone, or like when you feel you are full of life, or you're full of energy, or you don't know what to do with your energy. That's what I like to describe as being present or being truly fully who you are, coming back to you. Now, oftentimes I feel like this term can can go in a place of direction. I need to get somewhere. That's why I feel like I started with place of turning within or looking within, meaning the presence of who we are is always there. It's just sometimes when we give so much attention to the outside stimulation or what's happening outside, is that we sometimes forget that we are a presence embodied and not, not other way around.
Is it when you tell me this is not you speaking, this is not your
Oh, that's
presence speaking, this is your mind right
yeah. Well, that's
now?
new.
I want to
Yeah,
talk to you, I want to talk to you, where are you?
yeah.
Knock, knock, knock. So I would like to expand on that because I'm experiencing that. And it's true that oftentimes, of course, I wanted to put it into words because I want to share it. We want to share it with all of you. But it's an undescribable experience because I'm like so aware now how I allow actually my mind to play certain ways or just guide me in a certain direction, which is fine because our mind is amazing. That's the entry point, the portal to all the information, and and without that, we wouldn't be able to have the experience we're having. But just to realize, for example, I'm gonna put very specific example. Let's say I'm with Alexander and I'm feeling tired. No, 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 no. This is even better. Today, I spent the whole day with Alexander and it was amazing. Like, super energized. My energies are up. I did so many things. We enjoyed so much. Easy. The time just bended into. Psh, I was like, that's it. And then Costa came in. So as soon as Costa came in, literally my energies dropped because my mind and my body still associates that although I had an amazing day, but when Costa comes in, I train my mind and my body to feel, oh, that's it. Now I can relax. But from what? I was already relaxed. It's just the habit or the way I train all of that to be that way. And then since I'm realizing more and more, and I'm more aware about that, I was like, tune in, energies up, and they went for a walk, and I did so many things. I was as efficient as I was from the morning, and actually today was one of the earliest I woke up, and I feel amazing.
Well, what comes to mind here is that
To mind.
to mind.
Speaking
What comes
about
to mind?
mind.
Yes. What comes to mind is what you described is how much or how consistent or how do I have like an expiration time within each day? How much of the presence can I have? Well, you are always present, meaning your presence is always there. It is just, are you sometimes, glued into the expectation that you gotta crash before the energy comes back again or not? And so that was like also a question the other day on our Serbian Instagram, and I love it. I love that it pointed me back to the place of no, we can be as present as we decide to be. Don't you love how recently we started playing when I say I'm talking to you, I'm not like, I'd like to talk to you, not to your mind. Or sometimes I'm like, I'm not interested to talk to your mind. I want to talk to you. But either way, don't you love how it takes just a decision, because you know that it's infinite. You know that you can be there as much as you want. There is really no end. We do not need to deserve to have certain amount of presence and then the rest needs to go, to be blah.
And within that question, when you asked me that, there are infinite choices, but usually what used to be, I would actually get triggered because I have every excuse to myself that I actually deserve to be tired or I deserve to have low energy. So
But
I
wait a
deserve
second, I have
to
to,
be
I have
cranky.
to, I also have the confession to make. Before, when we used to experience that, I was doing, if you were to do that, to have that reflection, it's because I was trying to do it from a psychological level of intellectual understanding.
That I know, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about now.
Well, about now, every single
it's
time
different.
well, exactly, every single time within the last week
So
or
let
10
me
days.
finish.
Yeah, okay.
Let me finish.
Okay, wow.
So
I thought you talked about before. Okay.
well, before, actually, when I say before, I don't even remember what
You don't?
too much before.
What?
I'm talking before like a month ago, you know? So actually it would trigger and I was like, this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm here and complaining. Plus, you really like to point to myself, which is actually me pointing to myself where I'm complaining, because otherwise how I would be aware. And I know what you're talking about. There is a difference. That's why actually I'm taken into that reflection in a different way. But it takes me a moment to actually recognize, oh, I'm triggered, and then for a moment to relax mind, body, so I can bring the presence, start to bring the presence back, which is always there, but meaning the awareness of that presence being there, and then start to actually listening and reading between the lines. So actually, regardless if now you would do it from the psychological level or whatever perspective, whatever level, it doesn't matter to me because now I can see between the lines, as you say, and I can experience what that means. It means I can see beyond your mere pointing to me something that's I'm either complaining or I'm here or there, because who does like to be pointed, or poked? But now I'm actually, I would say, even enjoy it after I relax, because then it worth it so much, uh, that trigger for the experience of shifting it and then experience something else that actually is very empowering. I was like, oh my god, if I can do this with my life partner, who is constantly here,
Nagging one.
yes, um, imagine what I can experience in the world.
Hmm. Yeah. So what can you experience in the world?
I
With
am
this?
already.
Yes.
It's
Right.
it's amazing because let's say now a friend is complaining, and very as an example, or someone is sharing something, a story that they don't like, they're experiencing something they don't like, or they're in a place that they feel some negative emotion, and prior I would have this judging moment, like, come on, like, snap out of it, and everything is well and all of that. But now, first, I recognize that it's okay for them to be where they are, because I know that it's okay for me to be where I am, because that's the only way actually I can move into a different direction. And we talked about that. So from that point, I meet them for a second where they are, and so they can actually, I can relate to them for a moment, and they can relate to me. Then I would go, and me, not asking them, not telling them anything, but I would go into a neutral spot where I can rapidly just see what they want is to be the love they are. What they want is to bring the presence. What they want is to be more inclusive. Everything, all the general things that we all want. And then from that perspective, I do the shift within myself, and then that reflects in them. The other day, actually, I had a friend, who I received a nudge to contact and to call, and then we agreed to speak, but the friend never called me. And guess what I did? I did the shift within myself of whatever this friend expressed to me through a message, and
Are you excited to see it unfold?
I'm super excited, and I'm sharing that not because actually I want the friend to know that I did that, but I'm sharing from the excitement to actually, oh my god, I didn't even have to speak to a friend physically to have a conversation with this friend and actually contribute to myself and to this friend, in shifting that, whether the friend chooses to tune into that or not, it's a different story, but there is more opportunity because that's the invitation. Okay, do you want to say more about that?
Or if you choose what version of your friend is going
Oh,
to show
that's another one. Of course, of course. I know that because they only can show me um,
what you can see.
what I can see.
Yeah. But okay, let's just narrow this down in one spot. In order to be playing with these different perspectives and switching them rather quickly, one thing that I feel coming back to you is literally physically dedicating the time to you. And regardless of what your lifestyle is about, whether you are a full on in your career or whether you are a parent, young parent or parent of older children, whether you are a grandparent, it does not matter. Whether you are taking care of somebody, whether you're very invested with your friends. You know how at some point it always brings me back to the conversation of giving, 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 and then having to carve out the time and the space for you to charge up so you can give so much more. Because I feel sometimes we get to perspective, especially like when we feel empowered, we get to perspective of now it's time to just give, 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 and then we forget to plug ourselves and charge ourselves up on the way. So it this came as the this is in the essence of practice, of tuning in, because you gotta carve the time out, you gotta make that a priority, you gotta say yes to more of you. And sometimes when there is a program kicking in of routine of living, and I feel that has been so shaken for us with becoming parents, that in the beginning it was like, oh my gosh, how is this ever gonna turn out? From the place of trying to go back to trying to match this whole new life into the old system that we had, and now realizing, wait a second, this is absolutely new, and this is the best thing that ever happened, because now we are just so much more present. And I feel even with just the time, don't you feel the last few weeks it's like all of a sudden we have so much more time?
Absolutely. And actually, the change that we wanted been amplified when Alexander was born.
Oh yes.
It took us a little bit to get into up to speed with that, but actually everything we wanted to experience, it's happening now.
I mean, I even got
perfection.
to like play tennis 3 times over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I went to dance today, and I'm gonna go dance tomorrow, and I'm like, this is 5 physical activities, and then everything else is blossoming even more, just because obviously it's a culmination and momentum of so many things, but I feel it's because we are really choosing. We're more and more consistently making a decision to just be unlimited in our energy, meaning to just be present.
Oh my God. I really want to speak about that, but I want to bring Viola.
Okay. Wow, did you guys see
for
how
the
he
last
just
few
did,
minutes.
how he's like, okay, bye. That's a really nice sentiment, but you gotta go now.
But saying yes to yourself, it's saying yes to your highest excitement, saying yes to go with what you really want. And I'm talking about coming back into that I have it all. Not only I can have it all, but I have it all. And there is
such a cool insight. Okay.
There is no other obstacle, quote to quotes, than me. So it's all me.
You want to talk to Viola?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to quiet my mind for a moment, and I will allow my thoughts, judgments, opinions, beliefs to soften up I'm here present, but I will not be interfering with the lovely Viola flow. Viola stands for We All Are One. It's my meditative state that I get into allows me to tune into the wider perspective. Often this is referred to as a process of channeling, so we're going to do that right now. Arman will ask a few things. Ready?
Will I?
Will you? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Here now present. In this moment, in every moment at all times. Your wider perspective, that which is you from a different angle. Go ahead.
I feel there's something that's Costa wanted to share an insight he received right before we start this
That was
conversation. Please go ahead.
The whole conversation about you choosing to stay in a perspective, in a wider perspective, not accepting, there is nothing to really accept, but to recognize that you are wider perspective embodied, naturally opens up for you an opportunity to feel that presence more of the time. It is so, takes a second sometimes for you to be able to say yes to it on demand. And we want to bring to your awareness that it is not that you ever are working yourself up into the amount of desires that you want to live, or you need to work yourself up in the amount of presence that you can have. It is that sometimes, because there is so much that you came to experience, you don't know where to start. And sometimes you say, well, there is so much coming in and I want to experience so much, but am I going to be able to have and experience all that I want to experience? So sometimes you cannot see in that wider perspective how many of experiences you can have, how many lifetimes within the same physical iteration you can have. And sometimes that makes you feel you do not want to make an action step. And we say you just take it one step at a time, which means you look for the evidence of your prior desire that came to fruition, and you count your blessings in that way. And then once you consciously know that something was a desire and then it became a reality, you can tap into the awareness, into the perspective, into the angle of seeing that you can repeat that infinite number of times.
Can you expand a little bit more on that? And I particularly want to focus on desires and experiences. So,
You say, can you expand? And we say, be more specific. Because the only time you can expand is when you're specific. So what specifically do you want to know about?
I want to receive your perspective about having it all. Oftentimes, I would feel, even if I don't ask myself a question, what do I want, and even write it, I wouldn't even be aware of how many desires I have. And of course, I can make lists and lists, but there is only so and so current desires in terms of like dominant desires that I have. And so I want your perspective on the unlimitedness of that current desires coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in, and how many times we can repeat that coming in and experience, and how much we can experience. And
Well, you're experiencing at all times. It is just how you're asking, how often can I consciously mold the clay? And we say infinite number of times or infinite amount of times. There is no end to that. And so what gets there is that sometimes you have these big goals, something that's really mattered to you, and then we say, but that gap between the bigness of it, you want to normalize so it drops and comes to you. And you can. Let's say that you have dominant 20 desires or 30 desires. You can get them rather quickly. And when you get all of them rather quickly, don't worry, there will be more 20 or 30 coming up. And there will be more 20 or 30 coming up. So you do not need to hold back on these 20 or 30 and stretch them into this lifetime, because you can have many lifetimes within this physical iteration. It is of your choice. You do have free will to choose how much you want to experience, and there is no one keeping the score. You have unique lens, unique perspective from which you're experiencing, and so there's no one keeping the score of saying you put these many things in the basket for the team. We say it's all beneficial, and it's just a matter of your curiosity, your wonder, your zest, but we want to say that there is no limit to it. And so wherever you're at right now, maybe you feel like you're getting one desire a year fulfilled consciously. And some may feel they're getting hundreds of them done consciously, and some of them are experiencing it moment by moment. But what we're saying is that it does not matter, because it's a unique experience to you and to every other person and to every other focusing mechanism. And so there is nothing to really compare, only to check in with you what makes your heart sing. But it's unlimited. It's unlimited, the amount of moments you can have within your presence, even within your physical experience. You do not need to not be physically focused in order to experience
having it all.
Having it all, that infiniteness of having it all. Yeah.
So coming back to how we started this conversation with Costa, you know, come back to yourself sometimes feels like, oh my God, there's so much we have to do and so many processes and so many tools. But at this moment, to me, it feels so easy. Literally coming back to you is just turn within. It's just,
it feels like you've had a really exciting day, or maybe even heavy day, and you just come home, and then you just open up your arms and fall back comfortably in your bed. That's how it feels like. We'd actually suggest you do that too, or anyone who is watching do that too. To give yourself an opportunity to just allow yourself to fall in within yourself. In other words, just to allow yourself to, for you to come online by allowing release of that which was holding you back, for you to be present as much as you want. Well, that feels good, yeah?
Feels really good. And before felt as easy as you just said. Just thank you.
Feels great to bask in the presence of you. And for now, that's it.
Nice.
That's really yummy. Really good. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for enjoying our show. Stay tuned. More to come in the future. We love you.
We love you.